in Canada because...
A boot! Not a boot. Sorry.
Hey, it's Jeff from Trail Trash ADV. Welcome back to a quick video on a little DRZ maintenance. So, before the Cabot Trail Adventure ride there that we did, I had put this on just somewhere to put my tool kit and whatnot. I cut these. It's just it's made out of thin gauge aluminum, probably a 16th, I think. And I drilled 2 holes. 2 of these are made out of the subframe. 2 of these go through the plastic. So, but I got in the mail. Hi, Goldwing. Oh, first off, if you guys need pins for your side covers, you can't buy them from Suzuki. You got to buy the whole side cover. So I got these at curvygirl.com. And as she says, motorcycle stuff, not porn. So kind of cool. Anyway, she sells them in 3 packs, and because I'm missing one of mine, so I got to put that in. So we'll slide this in the old pocket. But here is what I got from eBay. Or Amazon. So this is, here, I'll put some light up here. So, yeah, I mean, the welds look pretty darn good. You know, I don't know if that's powder coat or paint, but it's, you know, it's all right. I'm not too worried about it. I guess that one's on crooked. Ah, look at that. Maybe they're both, no, maybe they're supposed to be that way. Maybe they're supposed to be, yeah, they are supposed to be that way. I'd say they're angled that way to fit the curve of the fender, maybe, the rear subframe. Here, we're going to fit this up and see what it, see if we like it. Now, I'd had this order before we started dealing with dirt racks. So, I may still go with the dirt rack side stuff. We'll see how this looks. We'll see how this does. But it wasn't very expensive. I'll move you over a little bit. It's freezing outside today. It's mid-October, and the sun is shining somewhat, but it is freezing cold. So the door's down and the bikes are in, so I'm a little cramped in the old garage today. All right, so I'm gonna just leave you guys running. I'm gonna come back and forth, and you know, I'll edit out some of the boring stuff maybe, but we'll just leave you running for now. That's the Curvy Girl stuff. See, we got one missing down here. You can't see that, but it's missing. All right, so it's the Torx, and I'd say 10. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all that was. Thin stuff. But it did the job. It held everything I needed to hold for the trip while I was waiting for this to come in. Oop. All right. Open this. Some hardware. I hate working on dirty bikes, so hold on. All right, so I think that goes on the seat, so I'll need a 10, I believe that is. There's one. Two. All the way up. Now, you see, this is one thing about the dirt racks. They didn't have these were not attached. So they came down here, and then they had extra spacers, which were a bit of a pain to line up, but you didn't have the problem I'm going to have right here. And that's getting this in here around the seat. So let's do the smart thing. We'll lift the seat. We'll go underneath it. Boom. There we go. So let's line that and see how good this all lines up. So, oops. Put the hardware in here. Actually, I don't think those probably are for here. I'm guessing. Yeah, so I don't think it came with bolts for the seat. I think it just came with these bolts. Interesting. Very interesting. I think these bolts are all like way too long. Yeah, it's way too long. And why they didn't make the spacers black, I don't know why they're not. See, the spacers are just raw aluminum. So, I might reassemble this at some point. Take those out and paint them black. Depends on how anal I get about it, I guess. They made these holes pretty big, but they only gave me these little washers. I don't like those washers much. I like this washer much better. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that. Because these are so long, I think I'll still use those washers. And are we missing a lock washer? Maybe. They gave me lock washers, but then they're nylocks, so that's kind of redundant, eh? You got the nylock and then a lock washer. Meh, whatever. Anyway, I don't need two washers. Like, you can just put the one. And I mean, those are really, geez, butterfingers. So that's your normal size washer. If you guys can see that. And then this is what they would call a fender washer. So it's got the same size hole as a regular washer, right? Same size hole, but it's bigger around for, so you're not putting so much weight on the plastic. So, which is actually, how many of those have I got? 4. I wouldn't actually mind having one down here. Just so I'm not eating into the plastic. I mean, that's pretty beef, but still, if I got these, it might not be a bad idea. I could always use these though, because I printed just some hockey puck things. Yeah, maybe I'll just use those. That'll suck up some of that space too. Those, these, these. There's still a lot of bolt underneath here. So we'll probably mark it and cut it off at some point. I'm not going to bother right now, but that's probably what I'll do. Now I need a number 4 Allen. Yeah, number 5 Allen, sorry. And I'm just going to snug these and not tighten them up until we've got the bolts going into the seat done. Okay, just snug, not all the way. Now, here's the seat bolts. I somehow doubt they're going to go all the way through. So let's clean up all this extra hardware here that I took out of the old shelf. We'll go over to the old tickle trunk and see what we got. So I found these hex head M6s. So I think we're going to go ahead and use these for now. Oops, that one's not long enough. Okay, that catches enough thread. I'm going to do with that washer. I'm always losing crap. Okay, that's where it tightened up. Now, I don't typically like to run things in with impacts, but we're running in a little bit. Never start with an impact, please. If you cross thread, you never know whether it's cross thread or if it's just like a little stiff. The threads are a little stiff and you'll end up buggering your threads. All right. So I think that'll do. Now we could paint those heads black so they match in, but I guess nothing else is really black either. So let's go ahead and tighten these up. And I think there's a lot of screw left down here. Yeah, there is. There's a bunch of screw left. I'm going to mark them. Here, I'll take you guys to show you. See? I mean, that's a lot of thread sticking down. Do we need that much thread? I can't think of ever wanting anything up here. I'd like to switch those out to button heads too, so they're laying flat. Yeah, I think that clears. I just don't want them sticking proud of the top of the bars. And I can't think of anything else I'd want to put in there. So I think I'll take these out, cut a little bit off, and put them back. And I'm just going to go get a paint pen and mark them. So I'll be back. So I cut these off. Now a trick to cutting these off and not buggering the threads up. Now first off, if this isn't a stainless bolt and you cut it off, that's going to rust where you cut it. Even if a nickel plating, because the nickel plating is on the outside of the bolt, of course. So the inside of the bolt is not, it will rust. But you screw on a nut, cut off, and then when you unscrew the nut, it'll kind of fix the threads. That way you don't have to use a die to line them up. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to use a die to line it up. I actually had it out, but now just a quick tip that you've probably seen on other YouTube videos. But don't do the same thing with an eye lock. If you do the same thing with an eye lock, you will melt the nylon and it will melt into the threads, and then you will have a bugger of a time getting this off, period. So even if you run these down through somewhere and you put an eye lock on, you go, oh, that's way too much bolt sticking out, and you cut off the end just above the nylock, you will, that's like using red Loctite. Like it ain't gonna let go. That the nylon, what I find is it melts into the threads unless you get it so darn hot that the nylon like evaporates. Just a quick tip. All right. So just use a regular nut to do that stuff with. Don't use a nylock. Oh, darn it. I want the washer in there first. So I think this was like $50, something like that on Amazon. So like I said, it's not, the metal seems pretty good. The paint seems pretty good. It's just the mounting hardware kind of is chintzy. Like they only sent 2 of these long bolts. And very much lack of attention to detail by not having these spacers, black. Like that's kind of, yeah, whatever. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me. I don't mind painting or, whatever I need to do. But that might bother other people. because I do have these little rubber spacers here, just make sure those are snug down. All right. That is that. Now, I don't know what these two are for. I guess just tie down points, I suppose. Now I got a couple holes in my fender. I guess I'll have to fill those. I'll come up with something. Maybe I'll 3D print a little plug for them or something. Yeah, so I like it. It's not bad. You know, it's just sleek. It's small. It's not big, thick tubing. Yeah, comparing it to the Dirt Racks. Yeah, so the Dirt Racks is a little more beefy. This is a little more streamlined, I guess. Some of the DRZ ones, they come clear back here. I don't know if I like the looks of that. I feel like this is already quite long. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like this. It's just kind of sleek and simple, and you know, it's going to allow me. It doesn't have any of those bungee tabs, but neither does the dirt racks. So those little tabs that come down, and then they look like mushroom heads. So they just kind of come down into it and into a wider head. That way, a bungee hook can go on it and it won't slide off. But that's, you know, it is what it is. And this is my toolkit here, and that's just a cheap Amazon. I don't know, like one of those mole pouches. I put some foam on it, but as you can see, like it's taking a kicking. I got stuff wearing through here. I got something sticking out wearing there. I got stuff wearing through where it's been, you know, whatever. This is tubes and levers. There's this I made homemade. I just made a little pouch for a 21-inch tube to fold up, and then right here you can actually see the stitching where my two levers actually slide in case I'm out in the woods and get caught with something. And we've had to use this. Colin carries a pump usually, and I carry the levers in the tube. And he carries the fuel, which we got to get back on too. These dirt racks. I'll put this over here. We have to mount this, so that'll be another project. So I'll have to come up with a new adapter plate. But boom, that's gonna go there, so we can put the rotopacks. Bada boom, bada bing. So that'll be the next job. All right. Well, I'll have to figure out a way to mount these on here, but I think that's pretty much it. Again, if you're not familiar with the DRZ, the side panels are held on by these. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm not like in your face. So there's three. There's 1, 2, 3, and they just go in. You do a quarter turn, then flip down. That's actually your airbox cover. So on the flip side of that, it got the cutout in the airbox, so you can just quickly take this off, reach in, and clean your airbox. I mean, very cool design from Suzuki. It's just these pins are only in a quarter turn, so I'm sure they get lost from time to time. And you can't buy those pins from Suzuki without buying the whole damn side panel. And the only one that my local Suzuki dealer could get was white. So they didn't have a listing for the black one. So I don't know what the hell's going on with that. So anyway, replacement pins from Curvy Girl, and now I have we'll see if the hardware is still in the back side for that bottom one that fell out. Hopefully it is. Now I've got 2 extras in case we lose one. The next project are mirrors. So I like the vision of the big square mirrors Suzuki gives you. You could see quite well in it. However, they're always getting whacked, and they've got several joints. I don't have one out here because I gave one of my good ones I gave to Pete for Pete's DR400s because one of his was messed up. And although we may put different mirrors on it, eventually I'll get that mirror back. He's using it for now. But the way that they screw in, there's like 3 screw points. There's the screw into the mount on the handlebar, the standoff or whatever you want to call it. Then there's the locking nut. But then the mirror will rotate this way too. The stock comes up, and there's another mounting point in the stock. And when you get hit by branches or trees, or you drop the bike over, one of those gets whacked. And of course, they're all different sizes. Plus, there's a 4th point actually. There's a nut that goes down through to attach the stock like the angle piece of aluminum stock to the base of it that screws into the handlebar mount. And complicated, I'm sorry I can't show you any more than that. And it's got a little plastic cap over it. Anybody who's got one of those mirrors from Suzuki knows exactly what I mean, but what a crappy design. I mean, it's fully adjustable, I get that, but that little one under that, you need a very thin-walled 10mm socket to get in there and tighten that down. And once it loosens up, yeah, you've got the. I happen to have a cheap Chinese dollar store socket set somebody had given me, I think at a Yankee Swap or something at some point, and it's so thin, it's metal, that I've never used them, but I found a use for the 10mm. It's a 1/4-inch drive. It actually fits in there to tighten those down, but I gave one to Pete, so I got to come up with a mirror. Long story short, too late, already long. So this was the design I had on the XT. Now this screws into your into the perch on your handlebar, and it's actually a Ram. It's actually the Ram brand name. So you can get these for $20 off of Amazon. Just aluminum with the rubber welded onto it, or whatever, bonded. And here's the mirror. You can get these off Thingiverse. The one thing I like about these mirrors is they're like the double take mirrors, but cheaper because I 3D printed them. But these have a and I probably showed this in a video at some point before. I think I did. I think I filmed this. Whether it made it into a video or not, I don't know. Maybe I'm boring as shit at you guys. I don't know. But anyway, basically you can tighten these two up to where it's holding the mirror. I'll tighten this up here. This one here. Come on, tighten up. Okay. So position the mirror the way you want it. You tighten the top one, and then it holds the mirror, okay? Then when you loosen the bottom one, you fold it in like you're supposed to on the double take mirror, and you can just give it a little snug, unfold, and then fold it back for street use, right? Well, with the Ram mirrors, the double take mirrors, they only have the one bolt in the little arm. So when you loosen that, both ends go floppy, right? And so then when you flop it back out for street use, you got to stop and adjust your mirror again. Where these, it just comes out and your mirror's already exactly where you had it before. Now, what I don't like about these, I mean, on the XT, I had a lot of vibration in the handlebars, so they vibrated so bad I couldn't see anything. But I've never really been happy with these, well, I guess they're blind spot mirrors you can get off Amazon. I've never really liked them. So what I ended up doing is on Amazon, you can get 3-inch mirror glass. Just cut 3 inches for crafts and stuff is what they call it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using these arms or a variation of these arms. I may shorten them down a little bit, and I'm going to be designing and 3D printing another backing plate for those 3-inch mirrors. So instead of using these convex blind spot mirrors, I'll have flat 3-inch round mirrors to go on this. So that's going to be tonight and tomorrow's project, is designing another mount for these. Now the weak spot in these is right here in the 3D printing. So I mean, I could take that and snap that off. So, but you can't make it too thick, otherwise you won't have the ability to move them around, right? So now I don't know if I need too much of this type of movement, because I can always use the base here to move the mirror the way I want it. So this does give you a little bit of extra flexibility. But I think I've got I'll have some leeway to thicken that up a little bit in both directions, because I don't think I need quite that much mobility. So I will try to thicken the mount point up a little bit. What happens? Anyway, Jeff from Trail Trash ADV. I'll see you on the next video. You know we're in Canada because...
A boot! That's a boot! Sorry.